Hello everyone, and today we are back doing another guitar pedal review. It's been a long time, so I might be a little rusty. Give me a break a little bit. Another small warning is that I am trying something new with the recording, so don't be surprised if something goes wrong with that. Also, there's a thunderstorm going on outside, so I really hope we don't have a power outage like we did yesterday. This is just a bad time, but I need to get this done. Alright, so today we're talking about the Stritch OCTPUS, not octopus, octopus, polyphonic octave pedal. So, this is a really unique pedal in terms of the affordable guitar pedal space, because this is I assume it's a digital pedal, because this is not an easy effect to create, and that's why a lot of guitar pedal manufacturers don't do it, and the best that we usually get is an octave fuzz pedal, and sometimes they're a bit iffy. So before we get into it, I want to talk about an underrated thing, the box. I was sent this for free by the company, thank you to Stritch. This box is actually quite decent compared to some others. Some others are very basic. It doesn't have like a fancy design on the sides. It has the fancy logo on the top, but I'm guessing they just stick stickers on it for whichever pedal. But it does say the name of the pedal and stuff, which a lot of guitar pedal boxes don't have, which annoys me because as a collector and person who really likes guitar pedals, I set them on the shelf, sitting there like that, and then usually it's a blank thing. You don't know what's in it unless you memorized it. It also came very well packaged, and this has a nice magnetic style opening. So then it just folds up like that. It might be a little bit of extra cost that could have went into the pedal or just went into savings, but maybe I don't know, it's still a fairly decently affordable pedal if I remember correctly. Alright, so now let's get all the freaking information crap out of the way. I'm running two microphones. One's going to be a bright microphone, one's going to be a dark microphone. I tried to voice this to get as accurate of a sound to what I'm hearing in the room with distortion. The clean tone is fairly decent, so there's that, but the low end might be a little missing, unfortunately. I don't know. Recording for accuracy is difficult and usually dumb and pointless. It never works, and by the time it gets to you, it's usually messed up anyway. Anyway, we're going to be playing a Squier Stratocaster style guitar, going into a metal zone for our distortion, and then that goes, actually the octopus goes into the distortion, because I tried this a bit beforehand, and if you put the octaver after, it tries to octave all the distortion, and it gets a little messy. So yeah, octaver in front of the distortion, going into the Boss Katana 2x12 Mark II combo amplifier. All of the effects on there are off, and the equalizers are turned to noon. So with that being said, let's get to actually playing this thing. So let's talk about the controls. We have 4 simple controls, not including the on-off button. We have our dry signal, which is going to take our regular guitar, and it's going to control how much of that signal we have, which you can turn that all the way off, which is really cool because some octavers don't even have that either, which is cool, but sometimes you don't want it, we'll see. Then we have Octave 1 and Octave 2. They're called that because Octave 1 is your main octave that you're really going to use, and Octave 2 is the sub of that. So when you're doing a down octave, this will be your sub octave that gets really low, and when you're going up, this is going to be your I don't know how to describe it when it's that, but it's a sub octave that goes really high pitched. And when you're doing both, I believe 1 is the down signal and 2 is the up signal. But let's stop talking about it and let's test this out. We're going to start in the down signal. We have everything set to roughly to noon. I guess first I have to do a clean signal for those nerds. And then let's get a clean signal, a baseline signal for our distortion. let's actually start with just seeing how each of these sound independently. So we're going to turn the octaves down and we're going to go with just the dry signal, because even though the dry signal should logically be a sort of direct pass through, there is a little bit of a tonal difference that happens, I believe. It's pretty close, but it's got a little bit of tone shaping in it. It's hard to describe. Maybe it loses a little bit of high end. Either way, that's the dry signal on its own. I don't think we really need to go into that. It loses a little bit of something, but really you're here for the the octaves. So let's turn octave 1 all the way up and hear what that sounds like on its own. See how well it tracks on its own, but you know, having the dry signal helps. Put a little bit of dry signal in there. There we go. Very cool. Now we're gonna put the sub octave on its own, but I don't think we're gonna hear very much if I remember correctly. Very interesting. So now let's turn everything to noon and we'll have an even blend across the board with all of the octaves. So, even though this is a polyphonic octaver, which means that it should be able to track a little bit better with chords, it's still not perfect, obviously, and this is an affordable octaver, but for the solo sounds, it sounds really good, which is why I've been mostly doing the plucked stuff instead of chord stuff, because the chord stuff just doesn't come through. Let's turn on the distortion, which will help show a little more of the defining characteristics, in my opinion. So the dry signal is probably carrying those chords a lot, because I guess we can try it without the dry signal and see how that sounds. It's probably not going to be pretty. Actually, it seems like it was doing pretty good. It's just hard to hear because they're down octaves. It's a little muddy because they are down octaves. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea to do chugs with the down octaver. We got a lot to get through, so let's continue on. Let's turn to the both octave. Well, actually, we'll go to the top octave first because then we'll know what they sound like individually. So let's turn both of these octaves down, see if there's any change in the dry tone when it comes to if there's any change to the dry tone on its own. Sounds pretty similar from what I remember. Oh, well, it'd help if I had the guitar pedal on. I don't know, sounded fuller when I actually had the pedal on, strangely enough. So let's turn the dry signal down and we'll go to octave 1. This might get a little ear piercing, especially once we get to octave 2, but here we go. Sounds like a weird metallic, it almost sounds like maybe a sitar, but not quite. It's not the right frequency. And of course it has the metallic sound from, I don't know actually what that's from, but you know, it's just I guess the natural harmonics of how this pedal works. We're probably not going to play with octave 2 for very long because this is probably going to be painful. Let's see how this works. So yeah, not a lot of people are fans of up octaves, especially that you can't actually change how much octave there is. These are obviously set octaves where they are full octaves. So you have, I assume octave 1 is a full octave up, and then octave 2 is 2 whole octaves up, which gets really high pitched, especially when you're playing with a standardly tuned guitar. Might be pretty cool when you get to like low tune stuff, but yeah, let's blend this all together and see what it sounds like. That's pretty cool. It gets almost to the pitch of this one song, but it's by a really obscure artist, and I don't want to go into that, but they use the, I believe, the whammy pedal in there, and then they do harmonics as an intro to the song. Gets really close to that sound, but it's just not quite there, I think. But the whammy has you can control the sense and stuff when you use the controller. So yeah, this is pretty interesting. Oh, I'm messing it. That doesn't work. Wow, I actually did that right with the octave. That was surprising. Such an interesting sound. Now let's go to the middle. Let's just verify which one's which. So octave 1 is down octave, octave 2 is up octave. And so I believe that these are going to be 1 octave down and 1 octave up. So you get the best of both worlds in this one. That is if you like both of the sounds. So let's blend it all together, see what there is to hear. I just realized that I forgot to turn on the distortion with the up octave, but honestly I'm a little afraid to because I'm worried that that's going to push some high-end frequencies and it might get a bit nasty. But let's see what it sounds like here, and then we'll try it again on the other one. Oh boy. What did I just tune that to? Damn it. Went to go do a song that was in E standard as I just dropped back down the drop D. Is that how that even goes? This is messy. Alright, we're not gonna do that. This is not working. And that's what I was fearing, was that the distortion was not gonna like the up octaves. Let me make sure that I actually am in tune right now. It's just such a fun effect to mess with, and what's cool is that when you actually get this effect in its own pedal, you can start combining it with all the different kinds of effects, because usually you only get this sort of stuff, at least in an affordable setting, in things like multi-effects, and then you are stuck with only this as your modulation or distortion or something weird like that. But with this, you know, when you buy more pedals, you can use them with whatever pedal you want, and it's freaking awesome like that. So let's turn it back to top, and we're gonna have that be in distortion. We'll see how this goes. So weird. I'm sure people would absolutely hate this at a show unless you really grew a fan base around it. Because this is probably a really freaking obnoxious sound at a live show with people who don't know you. I'm probably annoyed as shit that I'm still playing this. But, oh my god. Alright, but that is a general look at this awesome Octaver pedal. This thing is awesome. I'm gonna look up the price real quick so I can verify and see how valuable this is. This is $46, which is on the higher end of, I guess, affordable pedals, or, you know, kind of in the mid-range, I guess. It depends on your perspective, I guess. But for an octave pedal, that is very low, as far as I've seen.
Future's now, old man.
I have not seen many octave pedals get to that level. There's a few other options that are in mini pedals, but I think a lot of people prefer this kind of pedal anyway. It's a bigger interface, a lot more surface on the back when you actually want to put it on a pedal board. It doesn't flick off when you're trying to put it on a pedal board. So, yeah. So, really, even though I got this for free, I probably would have bought this eventually. It just would take me a really long time since I don't get paid for anything. So, obviously, I think my impressions of this pedal are pretty clear. I freaking love this thing. It's so cool. I don't know if I'll be able to use it practically, but it is freaking fun. It's a really interesting sounds. I'm really happy that that it's in my possession now. But let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Hopefully my recording was able to do it justice. I don't know what it sounds like yet. I may have to go back to my original recording method. It was just a real pain in the butt to set up every time. This one I could leave up, but it doesn't do exactly what I was hoping it would do. At least, it's not as versatile as I thought. Anyway, if you liked this video and found it informational or enjoyable in any way, please leave a like. There should be an affiliate link in the description below if you plan on buying this guitar pedal, which I highly suggest you do. The affiliate link helps me out and adds no extra cost to you than what you would already be doing buying the pedal in the first place. This channel is normally a guitar and 3D printing channel, though I do various stuff. I actually have some real special stuff for drummers on the way here, but I also do whatever I want. We just did a lavalier mic review because I also need to do reviews on, you know, studio stuff like cameras and other microphones because I need it all and it's all just generally good information. So if any of that sounds good, please consider subscribing. Don't want to ramble on anymore, so all I have to say is bye-bye.